second window of the transfer portal. It was kind of that process of getting him and now getting him set to take over.
Yeah, he. I can't actually talk about him right now until some things officially go through, but look forward to talking about that.
The Big Ten winning back-to-back national championships, has that shown up in recruiting or in the portal for you guys yet?
That's a real thing, absolutely. I mean, ultimately, you know, at Northwestern we talk about the best of both worlds. It's the highest level of college football. You know, any group of young recruits that are hyper-competitive, you ask them the question, do you want to play at the highest level of college football? Everyone should raise their hand. If they don't, you got other issues. And ultimately, you want an opportunity to, you know, earn one of the best degrees, you know, in the world. Best of both worlds. But the tangible, you know, reference of the last two national championships coming out of the Big Ten is support to the fact that this is the best league in college football.
Does it get you in more doors yet, or like how tangibly how is that helping you?
You know, I think ultimately when it comes down to crunch time and the decision, it certainly factors in. A young man that is hyper competitive, that wants to play at the highest level, you know, you should want to play in the Big Ten. You want to play in the NFL someday? What a great opportunity for you to not only experience the entire country like you do when you play in the NFL, but also experience, you know, ultimately you're going to play in all the elements if you play in the Big Ten. And you know, when Green Bay decides to draft you, or Buffalo decides to draft you, or even Miami decides to draft you, but you got to play up in Buffalo, you don't get to choose the climate that you play in. The Big Ten is preparing you to play at that next.
Along those lines, what's the difference for a quarterback in the Big Ten compared to maybe some other conferences, the qualities you have to have?
Yeah, I think one thing that stands out about, you know, both the Big Ten and the SEC, the level of defense that is consistently played. The thing that I will say is the coaching in this league is something that really stands out to me week in and week out. There are going to be defensive coordinators that really challenge that quarterback position, and I would argue thriving in this league is a clear indication at that position that you're prepared to you know, operate at a high level in the NFL.
Do we make too big of a deal about weather affecting quarterbacks?
I think that's a real thing.
Yeah,
I really do. And again, coming back to, like, you know, if you're a young man that's played in, you know, in a dome or you know, in favorable climates your entire career, and all of a sudden then you're asked to go, you know, play in the upper Midwest in an NFL organization, that matters.
Piggyback off that, what's the keys to playing a Wrigley Field? What's been the takeaways?
Yeah, it's an incredible experience. You know, ultimately, we got to find a way to catch our stride there. You know, it's fun to talk about playing at Wrigley, but dang it, like, I want to talk about winning at Wrigley, and that's going to be a challenge to our team. We got two great opponents at Wrigley this year. Excited for the challenge that's ahead, but you know, I'll tell you what, our baseball team got us kickstart in the right direction with a win over Ohio State this spring in Wrigley. So, you know, I'm going to credit Ben Greenspan for being the catalyst on that.
Talking about Northwestern's non-conference schedule, you know, from 2025 to 29, you guys either traveled 900 plus miles, play a Power 4 team, or both. With how difficult your conference schedule already is, do you like having a non-conference test that way, or would you prefer going to the model other Big Ten teams currently have, 3 home non-conference games against, you know, G5 or FCS teams?
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the fact that between myself, Pat Goss, and Mark Jackson, like, we're in alignment in terms of everything that we're doing moving on into the future. And, you know, we have conversations regularly about upcoming structure of the schedule. And, you know, in terms of our current schedule that's set in stone, bring on the competition. You know, like, Tulane is a great quality, well-coached opponent. We're going on the road. What a great opportunity for us to really make sure that we're at our best for the beginning of the season.
I just want to follow up on what you were asking earlier about the red sharing and how your staff is set up. How much of a buffer have you felt you need to put in between the finances, salary cap, whatever, and the on-field stuff, either to eliminate any influence that would have, or I guess into just the appearance of it?
Yeah. I personally have decided to put in a complete buffer. And that's why I'm so excited about Christian Sarkisian being on board. I got into coaching to have positive impact on young people, teach, coach, mentor, help guys reach their fullest potential. And we talk a lot about our place, transactional versus transformative. We don't want to be a transactional program. Now, young men that have earned an opportunity to, financially benefit because of what they're doing on the field, that's awesome, and we should celebrate that. But that should be something that I'm not having those conversations with those guys. That's what's exciting. Allowing Christian to be concerned with that, and allow myself and our coaching staff to be concerned with, if we really want to serve these young men, we're going to help them grow into the best versions of themselves off the field, and we're also going to help them and challenge them to reach their fullest potential as a football player. It should be something that when a young man, does get that lucrative revenue share retention contract, like that's something that not only should be celebrated by that young man, but his position coach should be really proud of that. No different than the NFL. You see position coaches, head coaches at draft parties. That's something. Hey, this young man acknowledging you helped me get here. But in terms of like me being in the weeds on those conversations, I am intentionally keeping myself and our coaching staff at a distance. Allow Christian Sarkisian and his vertical and his staff to handle those conversations and evaluations. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter how much money you're getting paid, the best player's got to play. And if you're making decisions that he's got to be the starting, whatever, tight end because he's making the most money, that's not a winning formula. Those considerations should be completely removed from the coaching decisions.
So you're not negotiating